We are in Jonah chapter 2. We have been here for a while, but today I want us to look at the cost of forgiveness. And it comes up in verses 4 and in verses 7 of Jonah chapter 2. What's referenced is the temple. So from the belly of the beast, at the bottom of the ocean, Jonah says, I've been banished from your sight, yet I will look again toward your holy temple. And then again in verse 7, as his life is ebbing away, he says, I remember you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. So I want to just, today and tomorrow, I want to drill down on the idea of the temple because it's very important to the Jews for a variety of different reasons. So the Jews initially had a tabernacle. The temple and the tabernacle are sort of the same thing, different from a synagogue, which is sort of an outpost for education in the villages. But the tabernacle was a portable temple. So while the Jews are wandering around in the desert, before they get everything established, they have a tabernacle. But then when things get unified, initially under Saul, then more so under David, but David isn't allowed to build the temple because he had been a man of war, and so he collected all the materials, the cedars of Lebanon, and all the stuff that was going to go into the temple. And then after he died, his son Solomon, who reigns after him, Solomon builds the temple. And this is called the first temple, and it's massive and amazing and spectacular, and it will go on for hundreds of years, but eventually in 722 and 586 BC, the southern 2.5 tribes of Judah, because after Solomon the united 12 tribes of Israel split, and you got the northern 10 tribes, and they get taken away in 722 BC by the Babylonians. But in 586, the southern 2.5 tribes fall to the Babylonians. So in 722, they fall to the Assyrians. In 586, they fall to Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. And the temple, Solomon's temple, is ransacked. And then they go into exile for 70 years. When they return towards the end of the Old Testament, so this is the post-exilic books like Nehemiah and Esther and other things, we read Habakkuk, we read about the rebuilding of the temple. So it's not very spectacular. Those that remembered, the few that remembered what the temple was like before the exile and it was destroyed, and then see the new one are very deflated. They love the temple, but they long for the temple they used to have. So that second temple will go on for a few hundred years, and then Herod will come along. And Herod is the king of the Jews. He's not elected or nominated or recognized by the Jews. He's appointed by Caesar. And he's called Herod the Great, not because he's a great guy. He's not a great guy. He has his wife killed. He has several of his sons killed. He's a great builder. And along with building Caesarea and Masada, and he builds a number of things, Herodium, he builds the temple. So he rebuilds the second temple. Now, the rebuilt temple remains thought of as the second temple because the fires of the second temple never go out. They keep it going. So it's just a remodel job, but it's massively expansive. Tens of thousands of people are going to work on it for 60-some years. And we need to understand that for the Jews, we don't have an equivalent of the temple. The temple was, it's their White House, it's their Pentagon, it's their Smithsonian, it's the Lincoln Memorial, it's the National Cathedral. It's all these things in one, and it's the place that you go to meet with God, and it's the place that you go for your sins to be forgiven. So as Jonah thinks he might be dying, his thought is to the temple, to this place of atonement for his sins. And so today, I simply want to note today the importance of the temple, the allegiance and the loyalty that the Jews would have for the temple. It's always top of mind. And we'll continue to unpack this throughout the week. So, have a good day.